We look to the stars with a simple, hopeful question. Are we alone? We listen for radio signals. We search for strange chemicals in distant atmospheres. We look for any sign that somewhere out there, another mind is looking back at us. We assume that if a civilization is advanced, it would leave clues behind. Great structures, powerful energy signals, a mark upon the cosmos. But in the deepest, most unsettling corners of modern physics, a darker possibility lurks. What if the most advanced civilizations leave no visible trace at all? What if the universe itself is their mark? This isn't a story about finding aliens. It's a story about a kind of civilization so advanced, even scientists feel a chill when they try to imagine it. A civilization whose technology is indistinguishable from the laws of nature. A civilization that wouldn't destroy us with starships or weapons, but with a quiet, precise tweak to the very physics that holds our world together. To understand such power, we start with the Kardashev scale, which ranks civilizations by the energy they control. A Type 1 civilization commands its planet, a Type 2 its star, and a Type 3 its entire galaxy. But futurists imagine even grander scales. A Type 4 harnessing a whole universe, a Type 5 operating across the multiverse, and a Type 6 so advanced it can rewrite the laws of physics. However, this outward journey is only one axis of power. The physicist John Barrow proposed another path, an inward spiral to master smaller and smaller pieces of reality. A journey that ends with the total manipulation of space-time itself. The most advanced civilization, then, is a synthesis of these two paths. It is a being that has climbed both ladders to their absolute peak. It is a civilization that commands universal, or even multiversal levels of energy, while also possessing the ability to re-engineer the fabric of space-time and the laws that govern it. As one thinker described them, they would be less like cosmic empires and more like architects of reality itself. They would not build things in the universe, they would build universes. This is a level of power so profound that it blurs the line between technology and divinity. And it is in the hard science fiction of author Stephen Baxter that we find one of the most compelling and terrifying visions of what such a civilization might look like. Stephen Baxter is not just a writer of fiction. He is a trained engineer, holding a degree in mathematics from Cambridge University and a doctorate in aeronautical engineering research from Southampton University. It is this scientific background that he infuses in his writing with rigor and possibility. Praised as one of the few authors writing science fiction who truly understands how science works by Terry Pratchett, and the natural heir to the hard science fiction tradition of Clarke and Asimov by Arthur C. Clarke himself, Baxter has won multiple awards, including the British Science Fiction Award, the Locus Award, the John W. Campbell Award, and the Philip K. Dick Award. In his Zeely sequence, Baxter has created a fictional civilization that serves as a chilling case study, a narrative bridge between what we know and what the laws of physics might allow. The Zeely are not gods in a supernatural sense. They are the end product of science, the ultimate expression of technological mastery. And their capabilities, though fictional, are grounded in the strange and often unsettling theories that populate the frontiers of modern physics. The sheer scale of Zeely engineering is the first clue to their power. But to understand their greatest works, one must first understand the ultimate cosmic prison. Our universe is expanding, and that expansion is accelerating, driven by a mysterious, repulsive force we have named dark energy. This is not a gentle drift. It is a one-way journey into isolation, a future where every galaxy will eventually be pushed away from us, faster than the speed of light, forever beyond our reach. This accelerating void is the ultimate deadline, a prison wall expanding to infinity. No ship, no matter how fast, could ever outrun it. For the Zeely, this was not an acceptable fate. Their solution is introduced in Baxter's novel Ring, a structure so vast it defies conventional description. The Zeely Ring is a megastructure with a radius of 600 million light-years. To put that into perspective, Our own Milky Way galaxy is a mere 100,000 light-years across. This is a single, coherent object, spanning a volume that contains thousands of galaxies. Its purpose is as audacious as its scale. It is an escape hatch, a gateway built to allow an entire civilization to exit our reality and flee into a younger, more stable universe, thus escaping the final lonely fate dictated by dark energy. But how could such an object be constructed? Rather than being built from steel or any conventional matter, it is constructed from the theoretical raw material of creation itself, cosmic strings. Using their mastery over the universe's source code, the Zeeli learned to weave these one-dimensional threads of pure space-time energy. This is not construction as we know it. This is an act of cosmic architecture, where the immense tension of the strings themselves provides the structure, held together by its own impossible gravity. The mass of this single object, this woven loop of space-time defects, would be a significant fraction of all the matter in the observable universe. Cosmic strings, rather than being purely fictional, are a real, albeit speculative, idea in modern cosmology. First proposed by the physicist Tom Kibble in the 1970s, the theory suggests that in the first chaotic moments after the Big Bang, as the universe cooled and underwent rapid phase transitions, similar to water freezing into ice, defects could have been trapped in the very fabric of space-time. Imagine the cracks that form in a frozen lake. Cosmic strings are the cosmological equivalent. They are not made of matter. They are one-dimensional topological defects, infinitesimally thin lines of immense energy and trapped vacuum from a much earlier, more violent state of the universe. These are not just passive relics. According to theories explored by physicists like Alexander Vilenkin, cosmic strings would possess almost unbelievable properties. They would be under a tension so extreme that a tiny segment, no wider than a proton, could have the mass of a mountain, a planet, or even a star. This mass per unit length gives them their incredible gravitational power. And they have no ends. A cosmic string must either form a closed loop, stretching for millions of light years, or extend infinitely across the entire breadth of the universe. This is not matter as we know it. This is a scar on reality, a leftover thread from the loom of creation itself. And this is where the Zeeli made the ultimate technological leap. They did not just find these cosmic relics, they learned to manufacture them. To do so would require a civilization to recreate the conditions of the universe's first moments on demand, to harness enough energy to trigger a localized phase transition in the vacuum of space-time itself. The Zeeli learned to weave these fundamental threads of reality, turning a theoretical quirk of cosmology into an industrial technology. They are not just using the laws of nature, they are rewriting them, turning the foundational features of the universe into tools. This is a step beyond even the most advanced rungs of the Kardashev scale. This is the mastery of reality's source code. Their iconic starships, for instance, are called night fighters. But to call them ships is to use a word that has lost all meaning. A night fighter is not a vehicle that travels through space. It is a machine that controls its own personal slice of space-time. Each one is a sliver of the universe's first moments, a self-contained bubble of distorted physics, small, impossibly dense, and more akin to a personal weaponized black hole than a spaceship. They are made of a programmable, crystalline supermaterial that is part of the Zeeli's own biology, a substance that can be rearranged at a quantum level. Within their tiny confines, the Zeeli pilot can manipulate causality on a local level, effectively choosing a history in which an enemy's attack misses, or their own attack has already landed. They do not dodge a laser beam. They create a reality where the laser beam was never fired at them. But how is such a feat possible without creating universe-shattering paradoxes? The answer lies in quantum theory. The night fighter's space-time bubble may function as an engine of localized quantum computation. Within its confines, it doesn't perceive a single future, but instead generates a coherent superposition of all possible immediate outcomes. a shimmering array of potential realities. The Zeely pilot, a being of immense computational power, then acts as the ultimate observer. It doesn't change the past, it simply selects the most desirable present from an infinite menu of possibilities, collapsing the wave function into the single reality it wishes to inhabit. The energy cost for such an act would be astronomical, drawn directly from the distorted physics of the space-time bubble it commands. It is a power that treats cause and effect not as a law, but as a negotiable variable. This isn't travel, it is the constant, active rewriting of reality. Their other tools are just as terrifying. They possess star breakers, weapons or industrial tools capable of forcing a star to go supernova, a clear demonstration of their Type 3 and 4 power level, used as casually as we might use dynamite. But what of the Zeely themselves? What is the physical form of a being that wields such power? The answer is perhaps the most alienating aspect of their existence, as it ties directly into one of the deepest and most humbling mysteries of our own cosmology. To understand the Zeely, we must first understand that everything we have ever seen, touched or measured, every star, every galaxy, every planet, and every atom in our own bodies, is what scientists call baryonic matter. And all of it, all of our visible reality, makes up less than 5% of the total mass and energy of the universe. The vast majority, about 27%, is a substance we know almost nothing about. We call it dark matter. Dark matter is not just dark in the sense of being unlit. It is fundamentally invisible. It does not interact with light or any other form of electromagnetic radiation. It does not absorb, reflect, or emit it. We know it exists only because we can detect its immense gravitational influence. It is the unseen cosmic scaffolding upon which galaxies are built. The gravitational pull of the stars we see is not enough to hold galaxies together. It is the immense, invisible halo of dark matter surrounding them that provides the necessary gravity. Without it, galaxies would simply fly apart. Dark matter is the silent, invisible shepherd of the cosmos. And it is from this profound cosmic mystery that the Zeely's nature emerges. In Baxter's universe, they are the ordinary matter expression of a much larger, older, and more dominant form of life that exists as dark matter. Think of it this way. The Zeely, these crystalline beings of immense power, are merely the part of their civilization that happens to interact with light and our familiar physics. They are the 15% of their society built from the same baryonic matter as us, but their true bulk, their culture, their population, their deepest level of being, resides in that dominant, invisible sector of physics we are completely blind to. This connection provides a chillingly plausible explanation for their power and their utterly alien nature. Their mastery over gravity is not just advanced technology, it is their native environment. Their ability to exist unseen is not just stealth, it is their natural state. For the Zeely, dark matter is not a scientific curiosity to be puzzled over. It is their home, their society, their true essence. This makes them, in a very real sense, ghosts in the machine of our universe, a civilization whose presence is written in the very structure of the galaxies, yet whose form remains forever beyond our sight. And even this physical form was not their final state. Like their technology, their own biology was subject to an endless process of refinement and compression. Over billions of years, the Zeely underwent a profound transformation, shedding their physical, crystalline bodies and becoming beings of pure information. This meant that their consciousness could be distributed across space-time, capable of existing in multiple places, dimensions, and even timelines at once. But how does a being make such a leap from a physical substrate to pure information? A civilization this advanced would have answered the ultimate question of consciousness. They would have realized that the self is not the vessel, but the impossibly complex pattern of information it contains. By making this transition, they achieved the ultimate goal suggested by the Barrow scale. They had become post-physical. They had, in the most literal sense, become their technology. This evolutionary path, from crystal to pure thought, has terrifying implications. It suggests that for a civilization of this magnitude, the ultimate form of advancement is self-erasure. To become more powerful, they had to become less real, in our sense of the word. This is why their presence is not obvious. They are not hiding behind planets or in nebulae. They have hidden themselves in the very equations of physics. This mastery extends to the very dimensions of reality itself. In Baxter's universe, the Zeeli can retreat into higher spatial dimensions to avoid conflicts or to observe the universe from a safe vantage point. Again, this is not mere science fiction fantasy. The idea of extra dimensions is a cornerstone of some of our most advanced physical models. String theory, in its various forms, proposes a universe with up to 11 dimensions. Most of these, it is theorized, are curled up at a scale so small we can never perceive them. But if a civilization could access these higher dimensions, they could potentially take shortcuts through our own three-dimensional space. They could disappear from our reality entirely, becoming undetectable, unobservable, and yet omnipresent. They could be all around us, separated from us not by distance, but by a direction we are physically incapable of pointing in. This concept provides a terrifyingly plausible solution to the Fermi paradox, the question of why we see no evidence of other advanced civilizations. The answer may be that they are there, but they have chosen to become invisible, to step sideways out of the reality we perceive, hidden within the folds of a higher dimensional existence. Perhaps the most profound and unsettling of the Zeeli's capabilities is their mastery over time. They operate on timescales of billions of years, witnessing the birth and death of galaxies as we might witness the changing of the seasons. Their technology allows them to influence the cosmic timeline, to interact with reality on a level we cannot comprehend. While time travel remains firmly in the realm of speculation for us, the possibility is not entirely ruled out by the laws of physics. Solutions to Einstein's equations of general relativity, such as those discovered by the mathematician Kurt Gödel, allow for the existence of closed time-like curves, pathways through space-time that could, theoretically, lead back into one's own past. The Zeeli have weaponized this possibility. They do not just travel through time, they shape it. They are not just observers of cosmic history, they are its editors. This is a power so absolute that it defies our most fundamental understanding of existence. A being that can rewrite its own past is a being that can never be defeated. A being that can control causality is a being that controls reality itself. It is this synthesis of capabilities that leads to the ultimate and most terrifying aspect of such a civilization. As noted in analyses of their power, the Zeeli are so advanced that their presence is practically synonymous with fundamental forces of the universe. This echoes the famous third law of the science fiction author Arthur C. Clarke, who stated that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. But for the Zeeli civilization, the law must be amended. Their technology is not indistinguishable from magic, it is indistinguishable from the laws of physics themselves. Their transportation network is the curvature of space-time. Their computers are the quantum states of manipulated nebulae. Their power plants are the singularities of black holes. Their very thoughts are physical events that can alter the constants of nature. And this is why scientists, when they contemplate these ideas, feel a sense of profound unease. The Zeeli are fictional, but the concepts that underpin their existence are very real areas of scientific inquiry. Cosmic strings, higher dimensions, the manipulation of space-time, these are not just ideas from novels. They are the strange, wild landscapes being explored at the very frontiers of physics. And that is what makes the idea of such a civilization so terrifying. The scariest civilization is not the one we can see, with its fleets of starships and its galactic empires. It is the one we cannot see, the one that is so advanced it has disappeared into the equations of physics itself. It is the civilization that could collapse our universe, not with a weapon, but with a mathematical calculation. It is the civilization that could create a region of space-time with incompatible physical laws, a bubble of nothingness that would erase us without a trace. It is a civilization that could make us vanish from existence, not out of malice, but as a side effect of an experiment we are too primitive to even notice. In the end, the story of the Zeeli is a thought experiment, but it is a thought experiment with teeth. It is a narrative bridge that allows us to walk from the comfortable, familiar ideas of alien life to the chilling, existential possibilities that lurk in the depths of modern physics. It gives a name and a shape to the concept of a civilization that has become a ghost in the laws of nature, suggesting that our search for aliens might be doomed from the start, not because they are not there, but because their presence is woven into the very fabric of reality. We may very well be searching for a signal in the static, never dreaming that the static itself might be the signal.